Okay, there's a couple factors to think about when running A/B tests. The first thing is, what is it that you're trying to do with an ad? What are you trying to achieve? Is it conversions, people buying something? Is it people going through and watching a video or looking through photos in a carousel? Is it people actually following your account? Is it engagement? Right? Having a really clear sense of what it is you're trying to achieve is going to help direct what you think might make people more or less likely to actually do that. You also want to pop back and take a look through your social media audit data. What have you seen that really worked well for competitors or even for your own client? What kind of posts do people seem to be reacting to? You can also look back through data you have on ads you've run or posts you've made yourself. Which ones kind of sucked, right? What are some reasons you think might have driven that, right? All of these different things are going to give you different ideas about things you might want to go through and test in your A/B tests. Once you have some really clear ideas of things you want to test, you want to formulate good hypotheses. The main thing, as we said earlier, is to go through and just make sure that you're testing one thing at a time and holding everything else the same. The final step is to go through and actually just run your tests, which is a lot of fun. Throw them up on the internet, run them as ads, and see which one comes back as the winner. When you're going through and running A/B tests, there's a couple different ways to do it. There's manual options, which I'll describe first, and then there's more automatic options using built-in tools in Facebook Ad Manager. If you're going through and manually running A/B tests, what you want to do in those first two types that we went through, if you're testing out audience or if you're testing out delivery optimizations, you'd have to create two different ads using the same creative and the same copy. What you do is you create those two different ads with all the same settings except for that one thing that you're going through and testing. Yes, there is a risk, unless you're testing audience characteristics, that people might see both versions of your ad. And this is not ideal, right? So this is one of the risks of running this manually. The third type, if you want to go through and test creative, you have to go through and you have to create what are called dark posts if you don't want the post to be visible on your timeline. By default, all ads that are run on Instagram are dark or hidden posts. On Facebook though, if you were to go through and run two different ads, they might appear on your Facebook feed, and that's not ideal. You can go through though in Facebook and you can create what are called dark posts. Dark posts are posts that are hidden, that are not posted to your timeline, but can still be used in ads. Here's a link with more information on dark posts and how to go through and create those in Facebook if you ever need to. If you're creating manual A/B tests, there's a potential that people might cross over and see both versions. So I really encourage you, use the built-in tool within Facebook Ad Manager to do your tests, your A/B tests for Facebook and Instagram. The way you get into this is just by checking a little tiny button, which is kind of hidden when you're going through and creating an ad. If you select this option for A/B or split testing, what this is going to do is it'll give you options to go through and test out these different elements. So we can take a look at what that would look like by popping into Facebook Ad Manager. So if we take a look here, you can see as we go through, if we were creating an ad, you'd fill in all of your regular settings as you would here. And then at the very bottom, you would select this A/B testing or split testing option. It's going to have a couple different options within that drop-down menu. You can select what it is that you want to test and how many different tests you want to go through and run. So for instance, if we select creative, it's going to give us two places to go through and upload our creative. If we select delivery optimization, we're going to get two places to go through and decide how we want our ads delivered. Likewise, we could also go through and select placement. Placement's going to give us different options of how we want our ads to run. Everything else will be kept the same except for where the ad's actually being placed. And then finally, if you want to go through and test audience, it'll give you two places to go through and put in the settings for your audiences. What's even better is that Facebook Ad Manager will then send you an email with the results of your test, letting you know which particular version or which settings were the one that led to a higher result, or if a result couldn't actually be found. What's another important tip to note as well too, is there's actually a setting, if you take a look in the budget part of Facebook Ad Manager when you're setting up a new ad, that actually enables you to have an email sent and to have your ad actually paused when a clear winner is detected. I really encourage you personally to select that button, because you can find out which particular ad is running better, and then you can go in and put 100% of your budget behind the one that's actually better. If you're using Facebook Ad Manager, it will automatically run all the stats in the background as well too, and it will just tell you which is the winner, or if a winner couldn't be found, which can happen too. Sometimes you might be manually running ads, or sometimes you might be using social media platforms that don't have a built-in split test calculator. If that's the case, you're going to get back results, and you might not be sure if there's truly a difference, or if there's highly likely to be a difference between those two different conditions. This is a split test calculator link that you can use to go through and input details and have the system actually tell you if there's a significant difference between the two different conditions. You're going to put in your visitors, which is however many people saw your ad or went to your site, for instance. Then you're going to put in your goal, whether it's clicks, whether it's conversions, right, or whatever else you might be going for engagement, and it will tell you, the system will tell you if there's a difference between those two conditions. This is important to know, because sometimes you might see differences that are not that big, and you want to test out and see, is it actually significant or is it just noise? And this is a great way to go through and test that out if you're not using a tool like Facebook Ad Manager that actually will tell you that itself.